set, 2 o'clock. Wear this till I get the volume set. And so welcome back to the Learning Clinic on CKLU 96.7 FM. I am your host, Bob Kerwin. And with me this afternoon in the third section of our show is Mark Blay, who is running in the Ontario PC party for the Nickel Belt riding. We've had Franz Jelinas with the NDP and James Treconning with the Liberal, and now Mark is the third major party with the Nickel Belt riding. Mark, welcome to CKLU.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your invitation.
And Mark and I have been in here. We had a show a number of years ago on autism, so it's nice to have you back and have a chance to talk about a whole different topic, the provincial election. So what we're trying to do is kind of wrap everything up in a nice little bubble package, since we're in that home stretch, we're in that last few days, and we want to provide people with a chance to compare what the major platforms are from the parties without getting into any kind of a debate format or having to answer questions. It's kind of like, in the next 30 or 40 minutes, this is going to be like a presentation from Mark Blay on what the PC platform is all about, and your own particular interests and your own particular priorities. So if we're going to look at the PC platform, is there a topic or an issue that's kind of rising as one of the major ones, one of the main ones?
I think one of the major ones right now, well, door knocking I've done so far, has a lot to do with job creation. That's an important factor, creating jobs here in Nickel Belt, as well as gas hikes.
Okay.
Constant increases of us paying gas for cars.
So if we focus on job creation for a minute, what is the PC plan, I guess, for creating jobs and stimulating that part of the...
Well, we'll, as you heard Tim Hudak always talking about creating 1 million jobs in the next 8 years. Now, Northern Ontario will prosper from that. So we're looking at 1 million job creation in 8 years. Nickel Belt will be part of that. We'll have plenty of opportunities for companies to come to Nickel Belt and set up shop, not only with the Ring of Fire, but other manufacturing companies and so on, to give them good paying jobs. And this is how we're looking at it with the 1 million job creation. Having Northern Ontario a big part of that, because our party knows that Northern Ontario has suffered a lot over the past decade with the Liberal Party.
Are there stimulus packages? Are there plans to help create the job expansion or the manufacturing expansion or anything? Is there anything in particular that you're looking at growth?
We're looking at it is working with the municipalities,
Okay.
with the city council and mayor, to try to work together to enable us to track and tell the world that Nickel Belt is open for business,
Okay.
for reducing taxes, so it simplifies for companies to come out here, dealing with our municipalities, saying we're a wonderful place, we have vast resources, set up shop here.
Okay. So we're trying to attract more business.
Yes,
into
very
the
much so.
area.
It's long overdue.
Yeah. Any particular incentives for them to come to the north as opposed to the south?
Well, more opportunities. We're closer to, like, we're Northern Ontario, so we have a lot of areas that we can deal with, like Sault Ste. Marie for SR Steel.
Okay.
If we're dealing with a manufacturing company in steel, like car manufacturers, we can negotiate with SR Steel to purchase the steel there. Transportation, a little closer to the US, a little closer to, we have Tim's as well. So we're Thunder Bay, Wawa, all those areas in between. So we have a wide geography for companies to develop here.
Okay. Another issue that seems to always be talked about because of the amount of money that is spent on it is healthcare. Is there anything in particular in health care that is part of the PC platform?
Yes, I believe in reducing a lot of the waste of bureaucratic red tape and agencies that the Liberals have implemented over the years. Excuse me. we have to is focus to creating more jobs for nurses. They're the front lines of the hospital, and they've been working extended hours, become very exhausted because of the limited amount of staff that they have. So we want to bring in more funding, reducing areas of the agencies that we don't need, bring that money and saving there into the hospitals, hiring more nurses, more PSWs, which is an important factor. So this way we can eliminate the exhaustions of what the RNs and RPNs are going through at this point in time. Let's eliminate that, help them out.
So part of the job creation is to improve the health
Very much so, yes.
sector as well?
Very much so, as well as a long-term healthcare facility. That's another big concern, where you always have people waiting in the hallways and gurneys to be set, to have an opening for a room at the long-term healthcare facility. So let's eliminate that by developing more long-term healthcare facilities.
Okay. Education is always a hot topic in terms of provincial politics, because again, it's one of the top spending areas. It demands so much. I don't think it demands as much money as healthcare, but it takes a big chunk.
It does. It's a very important role. Education is very important. We have to look at it this way. Once we graduate, obtain our certificates or degrees, we go and start working, but we start constantly learning. We're constantly learning. So education will play a major role with that. Bring back more funding. Ontario was a leader in education around the world at one time, but the continued cutbacks in our education program has brought it down to the bottom of the list. We've got to bring that back up, that spectrum back up to where we were, back to #1 spot. And that's by ensuring we have the proper funding, working with the school boards, and developing new programs to help our children.
Is there any specific plan going forward that PCs are talking about?
We all know what we're all agreeing in regards to reducing tuition costs.
Okay.
That's a big factor for all of us, for each party, because I know every of my other candidates for the parties all agree on that. Injecting, but I would like to see a arts program here, not just in film, but I'm speaking reference to music, drama, dance, technology, designing, as well as game programming, schools like that here, because we have a lot of tremendous talent here in Northern Ontario, and we're losing out. These kids are losing out by going elsewhere. We want to keep our kids here in Nickelbelt and Sudbury. Let's develop these schools here, as well as another special needs school out in Nickelbelt, not just in Sudbury.
Now, obviously, it kind of borders between health and education, but special needs is a passion of yours, and you've talked openly about the need for more attention and more funding on providing for the children who have special needs in our system. Is there anything that is part of the platform that is designed to overcome some of these shortfalls?
There is. We are going to inject more funding to ensure that we have more equipment for these special needs kids for schools, like Gene Hanson's school. Because they're wonderful staff there. Their passion, their understanding in these kids and what they do for these kids, it's amazing. I want to make sure that they are recognized. And we will do everything to ensure that we have adequate equipment for them, more resources, EAs for these children, because they are a lot of work, as I already knew a few years ago. Process my wife and I have gone through for many years with our son. It's tiring, but
That's a good way of putting it.
we continue to fight for them, and this is what I'm going to be doing, is make sure we have all the necessary equipment that these special needs schools require, and they have. I won't stop enough of that.
And the whole area of special education, I mean, it's just, there's so much more we have to do in school, and it's tied to funding, and it's tied, we're identifying children at a younger age, and we have to intervene to deal with these problems, but yeah, you're right, something has to be done, because it's not the situation we're in right now can't be allowed to continue.
No, we can't, put a Band-Aid effect on it, so to speak. Excuse me.
Long term.
We have to, look at all aspects, listen to the special needs providers closely, understand what they're trying to express. And I've been to my son's school many times, and I'm amazed at all these kids. I can understand what's required, the funding, the trained trained providers, and so on. And we can't lose that. There's been so many funding cuts over the years under the Liberal government. We have to bring a lot of that back. We have to inform these kids. We care, and we're going to do everything we can. I've talked with numerous parents over the years with the ongoing problems that they have to deal with various governments, and mostly with the Liberals. And I feel their pain because I've walked a mile in their shoes, so I know exactly what they're talking about. So I was sure that we do bring the necessary, educated, trained professionals we need.
You started talking a little bit about gas prices. I know that seems to be a real bone of contention for most people, the fact that the prices are going up and down, it changes every day like the weather. Is there anything in particular on controlling gas prices or dealing with that?
I believe we should put a cap
Cap?
on the prices, because you look at the various, few provinces across Canada where they implemented a program like that, and they've capped it. Here, we go from North Bay, like Sturgeon Falls, North Bay, the prices reduced about 10–15 cents. We go further east, we go into Ottawa, it's even reduced even more, depending whereabouts in the Ottawa Valley you go to. But we're always being gouged here in Sudbury, Nickelbelt. We're at $1.44 now. That's high. And what's going to be next month, in July, as we're getting closer, where more and more people are going on vacation?
Does the PC party have any kind of plan?
We
Or
do.
this?
We do. I'm not, don't have all the full information on that, but we do have a plan in regards to stabilizing the prices.
Okay. Energy is seems to be a item too that keeps coming up. Energy, cost of energy, hydro, alternative energy sources, anything in the PC platform around that?
Yes, we're looking to reduce the hydro costs, is reducing the fees that when contracted out that we're paying for. And also, if you look at the turbine, they turn them on at night. Well, manufacturers are closed. So why are we turning it on at night for companies that are not operating? Doesn't make sense. And then yet we're charged and we have to pass it on to the consumers. And that's not fair.
Oh.
So we're looking at
So
eliminating that.
you're charged for what's produced, whether it's being used or not?
Exactly, we're still charged. It's not right. It's not right
I
at all.
wasn't aware of that. Okay.
So we have to eliminate that. And also with, I know I've heard a lot from colleagues with respect to removing the PSE portion with our hydro bills. Well, that's a little out there. It's going to be a lot more difficult than they anticipate. We can't just ask the federal government, yes, we're going to remove it. A lot more involved. It's going to cost the taxpayers a lot more money. Excuse me. To remove ourselves from the HSD, so this way can we eliminate the PST portion on our hydro bills. It's going to be a lot of work. You have to get a lot of information, a lot of documentation reviewed, and that's what the federal government decides. They agree or not agree.
Good point. What are some of the other issues that you're getting when you're talking to the voters?
Seniors.
Seniors, yes.
Yes.
One day I'll be there.
I think we will all be there one day.
Right. So if you know you're getting old when you get the application in the mail from Old Age Security. Yes, yes, look at this.
You're still young, Rob.
Yeah.
You're still young.
So
No,
seniors.
It is. It's very important to try to keep our seniors in their homes a lot longer. Taking them out of their home, excuse me, is devastating for a lot of seniors. You put them into, especially when they're still capable of everyday routines, and they have family support. it's great, try to keep them as long as we possibly can into their own homes. They're better off in their own surroundings. They have families and resources that are always constantly there for them. Inject more funding to have home, have them assisted at home for more workers, again, PSW workers, or any health agencies, to extend that program to the seniors to help them maintain, well, I find as their dignity, because I want to make sure that if I ever old, that I want to remain in my home as long as I possibly can, and tap into resources.
It is a trend in healthcare today. It's this whole concept of more care away from the institution, more care, community care or individual care, where people are becoming more autonomous for their own health and wellness, but at the same time they're also trying to move more of the care into the home. So I guess it's a natural progression. It's just a matter of, I guess, and this is more of a question than a statement, I guess it's a matter of how do you structure it, how do you administer it without adding to the costs in healthcare. I don't think anybody wants to see the cost of healthcare going up anymore in the province. I don't think we can afford it to go much more.
No, we can't afford it all, but we have a lot of insurance as well that plays a major role in helping with assistance for remaining in our homes. But there is we can find programs to help subsidize seniors, because we also have to look at a lot of seniors who are very fixed income and pension, because they can't afford the medication, certain medications that they require.
Even the healthy food.
Exactly. We have to look at it now. We're living longer lives today than when I was growing up. I remember growing up, I'd lose a lot of my aunts and uncles at a young age. Today, I look at the difference, and we're living a lot longer now. We're becoming more health conscious in what we're eating, prolonging our life. And seniors are doing that now.
And we have to make sure that extended life is a quality life.
That's right.
Not just more hardships after the other, yeah.
That's right.
No, that's a good point. I guess, I don't think anyone probably has an answer as to how you can make that happen. It's just, it has to be a priority.
It is, it has to be a priority. It's very important.
Yeah.
Because I have a mother-in-law who's 94, and she's still in her own home, which is fantastic. She has the support of her son, who still resides in the same city as her. And I'm amazed at this 94-year-old woman for what she's been doing thus far. And my mother, my own mother's 76, and she's gone through a lot of struggles. I'm still amazed at how, with my mother-in-law and my mother, I can't begin to say how well they are.
Yeah. 90 doesn't seem that old to me anymore. At one point it did, but it doesn't seem that old anymore.
I recall back my younger days when I was, I think when I was 10, I thought 30 was old, or even 20 was old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some pretty old 30-year-olds now.
That's
So, any other specific issues that have come up as you're going through that
yes.
you've had to deal with?
Yes, auto insurance.
Auto insurance. Okay.
Auto insurance is another big factor for Nickelbelt.
Yeah.
What they come to me and said, well, the NDPs are saying they're going to reduce it 15%. We all do. We're all in agreement with the parties to reduce it to 15%. But the question is, how are we going to implement that? Now, we all talk about corporate tax loops and tightening the reins with corporate taxes.
Okay.
Now, we reduce it 15%, so the premiums you and I are paying now for coverages. Well, we're allowing the insurance companies to now dissect it, give us a basic premium, so what we were paying before will now become an option. So it'll be an extra cost. So we also have to tighten the loophole there. Put
Make
clauses.
sure we've got the same coverage.
Exactly, without paying more. Although we receive the 15%, but do not allow the insurance companies to give them that year to figure things out. No, let's have it effective immediately. Put the clauses in there, so therefore they can't manipulate the system.
So when you buy a car, you already have tires on it. You don't have to buy the tires now.
Basically. So this way, enabling the consumers to have that 15% reduction. This is what the other parties are not mentioning. It's great to say, yes, reduce it to 15%. Okay, now tell the people what else is going to happen. by not implementing these clauses. You're giving the insurance companies an opportunity to manipulate the system and give us a 15% reduction, but now we're going to add options that you were used to, and therefore increase our insurance scheme. So we're back to square one. That's a big hot topic. So that's what I've been educating a lot of Nick about. It's wonderful to hear 15%, but we have to ask questions of a candidate. How are they going to do it? How are they going to stop insurance companies from manipulating the system? Oh, sorry about that.
A nice sound. Wakes everybody up.
Woke me up.
Yeah. Yeah, so auto insurance. As you're going through, and this is such a rapid, like it's such a short term, this campaign.
Yes, it is.
It's, I think, what, 29 days or 27, like it's unbelievable. Like we've got, Thursday, you know, we've got a few more days left. Are you finding that the voters are informed and knowledgeable about the key issues? Or is there a lot of misinformation out there that you have to?
I have to say there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's kind of balanced. You have half that have misinformation, the other half that are becoming knowledgeable with respect to all the platforms and the parties. And a lot of them are misinformed or don't understand completely how we're projecting our platforms. So trying to go through all the platforms and sort of educate them and make them understand what each party stands for, it's long, but you don't want to hide their answers. You want to be honest, excuse me, and that's what I am. I'm going to speak straight truth. I won't hide anything. This is what we are, this is what we're standing for, this is what we're going to do. If they have questions, then I'll answer them. And if there's a question I can't answer, I will get back to them. Because I don't like leaving that question just hanging out there and forgetting that person. I'll get their number and I will call them back with the answer. So I think it's a balance of both.
Are you finding that the general, that there's a tone out there of anger? Do you find people are kind of angry at politics in general out there? Or do you find that it's not as negative as sometimes the media tends to project?
There is anger there, but it's not as voiced loudly as the media is projecting.
Because you're meeting the people.
Yes, I meet the people. It's they are angry at the issues they're out, and the other thing that comes up is a lot has to do with the gas plant scandal. Who's going to be held accountable for that? This is what they want answers to that. I've had a few residents in Nickelbelt ask me, well, how come we're looking at a situation like this, they're going to get away with it. If it was just you and I, we wouldn't. So why is there a special treatment with government when they know they've been caught?
How do you answer that?
I said, yes, I fully understand that. I fully understand that. This is why we have to bring back the accountability and pursue the Legislation Act. Because if we don't, the government's going to continue getting away with it. We can't allow them. And the PC party will make sure that this will never happen again.
Is there a specific plan for doing that?
He's looking to bring a law that will be carved in stone where no other governments can change. Because we have to bring that accountability back. Because we're on the hook, as taxpayers, for $1.1 billion. We have to pay that back. It's like, you and I, we do our taxes, or we don't want to pay our taxes. What happens to us? Well, it's not fair. So, if they're misusing our money, then I feel the Liberals should be paying us back. Paying every Ontario back for the $1.1 billion. That's just the gas plant. We're not talking about the others now.
Yeah.
So we have a plan, a law that we hopefully, once elected, will submit. So therefore we protect Ontarians and their tax dollars.
Okay. anything else you can think of in terms of getting people more engaged in coming out and voting and wanting to find out more about, I guess, the issues? Because I think everybody is concerned about the voter turnout. I always take a personal view that the voter turnout doesn't bother me as long as the voter turnout is informed. That I would rather have 30% turnout of informed voters than 80% turnout, and half of them are uninformed and they're just picking the last sign that they saw before they got there. But it seems as if we're really using the turnout as a measuring stick.
We are.
In terms of the effectiveness, and again, it's more of a personal philosophy that's not really a good measuring stick. Hopefully people are coming out for the right reason. But how do we, do you have any way of engaging them so that we can get them better informed? Like, when we look at what we're doing today, we've got four different 40-minute segments on each of the four different parties. But for someone to watch this, they've got to watch 4 different 40-minute segments where they're getting a very unhurried explanation of the platform, which I think they need to hear. But we live in this 30-second commercial where it's flash, that's the message. And I think that's where we've got to overcome this, the negative ads, the personality attacks, and that's what people are hearing. They're hearing 100,000 job cuts, they're not hearing 1 million created. And now, so I guess part of your role now has to be to overcome the 100,000 job cut image and get back to the $1 million jobs created. $1 million jobs created. So how are you, I guess, personally handling that? Because it's, what people see is this flash.
I think what they have to do is speak to the candidate, contact the candidate, ask those questions, be reassured. That's one of the major problems, is that they have to become more involved. Because we know what the issues are. We know what the concerns are. It's taking the time to actually talk to your candidates. Give them a call. This way we can explain as to what's going on. Like our platform, you mentioned the 100,000 jobs. But we're going to create 1 million jobs in 8 years. Now, if you call the televised debate with the leaders, what they said, or Tim Hudak said, if he doesn't keep that guarantee, he'll resign. Now that's a lot of confidence, and I believe in that. So they have to look at 100,000 jobs, but within 8 years, there will be 1 million jobs created. Now that's right across Ontario. And as I said earlier, that Northern Ontario, Nickel Belt, will benefit, will prosper from that as well, highly. Because that's what a lot of undecisive, uninformed constituents have to do is contact your candidates. If you're undecided, just contact all of them. So you understand. But vote for the one that you feel would be the best candidate for you, who will not skirt the issues, avoid questions, because that's not who I am. I believe strongly in ensuring that we have the answers.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we video record these radio shows, so I can accumulate them on the Learning Clinic, the website, thelearningclinic.ca, because on that site right now, there's the leaders debate, there are the 2 Sudbury riding debates, the one that Northern Life hosted and the one the Chamber hosted, and the 2 Nickel Belt debates that the Chamber hosted and Northern Life, and then the individual interviews that we've been holding like today, and so it's all kind of in one big package, and it's a big package, but I'm hoping that at the end of the day, anyone who really wants to know about the issues will be able to at least access it. And I know everybody's got their own individual websites, and then you've got the media coverage. And I guess when you get into the media coverage, I guess that's where you're getting into having to learn how to be a little bit more of a critical reader, to understand what's being said and what's not being said, and what's being said that really shouldn't be said, but I guess to find out where everybody stands on the issues, you've got to almost take it out of the debate forum and say, well, let's let people talk uninterrupted. Which is one of the reasons people have asked, why don't you bring all three on at the same time? I said, well, I'd rather have the people have time to focus on explaining their issues as opposed to answering questions and defending. We have in the Nickel Belt riding 4 people who probably you would expect to get together for dinner. Because there doesn't seem to be animosity between the 4. It's really been a very polite, very vigorous, because you're debating the issues, but how do you overcome the rest of the province? Because most people are seeing the attack ads. Most people are seeing, it's almost a matter of who do I not vote for, as opposed to who do I vote for. The Nickel Belt is doing something one way, and it almost seems as if most other places are doing it a completely different way. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, you know as well as I do, being in politics, it's a very difficult, I say, a game, so to speak. We're all in this, we're running to get elected, but we don't need to attack each other. We are adults. We respect one another as candidates. So why should we attack individuals personally? Stick to our platforms. Attack our platforms. We can handle that. But let's respect one another. We're all humans. Okay, we all have feelings, and I don't want to be here to make it look like I'm a bully. Far from that. I want to be able to show that I respect everyone. Be it as the different parties that we're representing, that doesn't bother me. I respect them. I think James, wonderful man, hilarious. Pronounced, wonderful lady, very nice. Excuse me. Heather, nice. But like I said, it's just, we're here. We're doing something that we want to do.
Yeah. So as long as voters are informed and they go out,
that's right.
They make their selection, that's
all there is to it. We don't need to attack one another. It's not the way, it's not my way.
You're not gonna throw your stick over the boards or slam it on the face?
No, I won't do that. That's not my way. I was raised to respect one another. And if you can't say anything good about someone, don't say it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly believe in that. And it's the same as politics. We are out in the media. We're going to get attacks on Twitter or Facebook. Because of the party we represent.
Gotta have a thick skin.
It is. You have to be. You have to have a thick skin. It doesn't matter, but we maintain our respect, and that's the way we have to proceed. You want our debates? Yes, we'll attack their platforms. That's what we're here, because we have a better platform. They have a better platform. That's what we have to debate on.
Right.
Attack that. Their party's platform, what they have done in their writing with the party. This is what we have to look at. Personally, no, that's wrong. There's no need to.
Yeah, I agree.
We have to, like I said, keep the respect.
Yeah. We got, in the last 5 or 10 minutes, are there some other issues that we haven't touched on that you'd like to point out? Because we're trying to put a nice little wrapping on what the issues are that seem to be identified as PC issues.
The other issue is abolishing the college of trades is one big thing that we promise to do, and we will do.
Abolishing the college.
Abolishing the college of trades through another tax grab.
Particular reason?
It's basically an opportunity for another appointed position, where as tradespeople must pay a tax about $135 a year. So this way, companies can tap into resources there to get qualified, certified individual trades people, but they get to sift through it. And you may have somebody who just recently taken a course, like heavy equipment operations. But now, in order to obtain employment, they must have 2 to 5 years' experience, but they have to pay $135 a year for trade tax, for a job that they cannot get, because no company's willing to hire them, although they graduated. So it makes it more difficult for them. And the emission testing, another cash grab. We don't need, because car manufacturers are making cars with high standards of emission control for our vehicles. Older vehicles, yes, I can understand that, but newer vehicles, it's just another cash grab.
So my 1989 Dodge Ram, that falls under older vehicles, I guess, wouldn't it?
It would. But newer cars, we don't have to worry about them. It's just more of a constant cash grab. Because if I'm not mistaken, they were trying to bring it here in Northern Ontario, emission testing,
Okay.
if I recall correctly. And we don't want that. We can't have that.
Yeah.
The other issue too is, was the Highway 69, completion of that.
Okay.
That's a big issue there as well.
You
We
got
have to face reality.
You got some plans for that, or?
We can't complete it in 2 years, or less than 2 years,
Okay.
or in 2017. We got 82 kilometers left to do, and we have a few more bridges to build on top of that. Negotiation with First Nations. That's reality, 2020.
So it's an unrealistic goal, you
It is.
just figured?
Yes, it is. Very unrealistic.
Yeah.
So look at the long picture. 2020, I would project. This way we get it done safely. We don't push contractors, because the safety factors involved as well. Because you look at having 24/7, 7 days a week, okay, this is double overtime. Well, you put safety factors involved there. That's my concern.
Yeah, and there are a lot of bridges, like you say,
Yeah.
that have to be built.
There's a few more bridges.
And they
So I
don't-
say
You
2020.
don't build those overnight, no?
No, with 82 kilometers, it's a very long stretch, and we have to look at face reality.
Okay. The youth vote, is that a concern with the PCs and just getting more of the younger people engaged?
I think it's very important to get the younger people engaged, excuse me, with politics. Excuse me. Because I started in politics at a very young age, back when I was about 11 years old. Became more and more involved. I was
Really?
curious. Oh yes, I was very curious, understanding the fundamentals of politics. Our prime minister. As we go to school, you learn all about prime minister and so on, and then you look at provincial level. And I must say, I had the honor and privilege of meeting our former late Pierre Trudeau, which I got involved in politics because of him, and also Diefenbaker as well, studying Diefenbaker, Joe Clark. So there were a lot of wonderful PMs that we had. And it's fascinating. And I think it's wonderful to have more youth involved in politics. Speak to the candidates, voice your opinion, what are important to you in regards to your education. Become more involved. So this way, because we can't do it without them. We don't know what's happening, what needs to be fixed, without their voice.
Yeah.
And that's important to me. Because, especially when they're graduating in debt. Well, we can't have that. I wouldn't want my son or daughter to complete university or college and have a whole bunch of wholesale loans, heavily in debt. And look how long it's gonna take them. Almost like a mortgage, so to speak.
Yeah. Any ideas on, the PCs have any ideas on how to assist?
So reduce, like we said, it's reduced to 30%. We have to reduce it, but I like to see it as a opportunity, not like a form of a tax credit, but automatically apply to the tuition. Where a tax credit is that they receive the refund.
Okay.
Well, let's say that reduction, automatically apply it
So reduce it
to,
to 30%.
that's right. That's why I like to see that. Automatically apply to their tuition, instead of giving to their refund. This way, when the time comes, when they graduate, their tuition cost, their OSAP loans aren't as high. It's reduced. That's what I'd like to see.
Good.
That makes it easier for the students. And sometimes their parents are paying for
Oh,
it.
yeah, most definitely.
It makes it a lot simpler.
So we covered it?
I believe so. I'm not sure if I have a guest here with me as well. I'm not sure if she'd like to say anything in regards to anything.
Tricia, we got everything covered?
I think so. I just want to tap on that as a mother of a special needs son, my husband and I have been through quite a struggle. He was not diagnosed till he was 6, although we knew something was wrong with him when he was 18 months old. And we went through numerous doctors and specialists till we found what was going on. But as parents, you really need the support out there. It's very trying on a relationship. You have to look beyond it, know that you have to get those special needs for your son and the care that he needs and the support. So all the parents who have children with autism and the autism spectrum, we hear you out there, and my husband this is very key because we've experienced it. So
This is going to be one of the priority areas in terms of your own personal, I guess your personal mission.
It's one of my personal missions with respect to that, yes. My other mission is ensuring that we create jobs here for Nickel Belt finally once and for all. Those are the two priorities for myself, because I've seen Nickel Belt gone without a whole bunch of promises over the years about job creation, and it's never happened. We have the opportunity, we're going to make it happen.
Where you heard the voice of Trish, was Mark's real campaign manager, Mark's wife, and we are going to, we're going to make sure that we do some kind of a follow-up in the months that follow the election, so that we can get some kind of a debriefing from all of the candidates and just discuss what took place and what went on, and that might be a panel discussion, who knows. But I think when you take a look at what's happening in this campaign and what's involved, it doesn't just involve the candidate, it involves the whole family, and I'm going to be kind of curious when we have a chance to come back and have Trish say, yeah, you want to know what it was really like?
how many miles I walked? It was a pleasure, but my feet are sore.
The feet are sore, yeah. So I mean, it's a few more days and it's done. I really do hope that the voters get as much information as they can on all the parties, and when they go out, they make their choice based on the platform that they want and not some long-standing historical reason for voting for particular parties or voting against particular people. That they're making a choice for the future, because once this election is over, we're then into the municipal election, and that's going to have a major impact on the municipalities across the province. So, and then next spring we probably have a federal election coming up. So it's going to be quite an interesting 12 months.
It certainly is. It certainly will be.
All three of those elections are going to be held, and we can't forget the trustees, the school boards as well. So,
That's correct, yes, that's come up as well.
like in terms of a year, I don't think there's going to be too many years where we've had that. The three, it's a trifecta right here. It's bang, bang, bang. So it's a pleasure having you in, and I'm glad you had time to come in. I think we've put in a summation what the PC platform is, and now people will have a chance to compare all three, and I would just wait. Are you planning on any kind of a gathering, or are you going to be any place on Thursday?
Yes, I will be at my campaign office. Which is on Falconbridge Road, actually in Garson.
Okay.
3481 Falconbridge Road.
Okay. Is there a
There's gonna be a
landmark or anything that we?
It's right next to the convenience store, Max.
Okay.
It's right before Garson Constant Road on the left. Depends on which direction you're coming. If you're coming
Okay.
from Radar, be on your right. If you're coming from Sudbury, be on your left.
Okay. So you'll be there Thursday night?
Yes, it will.
And and we will, like I say, find a way of coming back in afterwards, whether, win, lose, or draw. Because I'd like to debrief, and I'd like to have a chance for people to, okay, when it's over, what did we learn from this particular campaign? And again, I don't throw anything away. I keep it all here, and next time it comes around, we'll be able to go back and look at it. So Marck Blay, the Ontario PC candidate in Nickel Belt, we've had Franz Jalla from the NDP and James Dragani from the Liberals. And at 3 o'clock, we're expecting Casey Lalonde, who is running in the summary riding for the Green Party, but because Heather Dahlstrom wasn't able to make it and she's starting a new job today, at least we'll be able to then get the Green Party platform, and Nickel Belt voters then will have the whole spectrum, to use a word again, but they'll have the whole spectrum of parties and have an opportunity to be informed if they want to be informed, and then we'll see what happens. So thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
And thanks, Trish. We'll get you back when it's all over and you can get your feet have recovered a bit.
Thank you very much. It was a joy to be here.
You are again listening to the Learning Clinic on CKLU 96.7 FM. I am your host, Bob Kerwin, and in probably about 15 minutes we should have Casey Lalonde in the studio, and we will be discussing the Green Party platform. Give me a shot.